Hey golfers, Tony McMullen, the founder of Smart Golf Academy here. Today, I'm going to answer a question from one of our subscribers. Joe has asked me, why is it that I seem to be able to swing my irons pretty well on an in to out path, but I can't seem to find that in to out path with my driver, okay? So very simply, we're going to address that, and I'm going to give you some things. If that's one of the things that you're struggling with, I'm going to answer that question for you. And I'm going to give you a good way to understand what you need to do to make a correction to that issue, okay? But first, if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, we'd love to have you as one. We've helped a lot of people to enjoy the game more and perform better. And if you're someone that we've helped along the way, leave us a comment. Let us know how your game is improving and the content that we gave you that helped you to get to that next level of performance, okay? So very simply, we're talking about swinging your irons on an in to out path, promoting consistency, and struggling to find that same consistency with the driver, okay? Well, let's go with the obvious differences first. First of all, you can see where the iron is a shorter club. That's going to affect your setup. The driver's longer, that's going to affect your setup. You're going to have two different setups based on the length of the club. Now, we're not talking about, anything other than the way that the club is held and the position of the golf ball. Position of the golf ball for an iron is going to be more centered. Position of the driver obviously is going to be more forward. And you're going to be able to tilt a little bit more with a shorter club. In other words, the tilt factor would be here as I tilt over it versus the driver, I would be probably a little bit more upright, okay? So we got a ball that's sitting further away from us with a driver. That's going to affect how our arms, the angle of our arms are a little bit more extended versus the iron a little bit more underneath us, okay? Your setup is worth about 90%. If your setup is correct, it's worth 90% of your success. I've seen many players over the years that had marginal setups, that great golf swings, but marginal setups, so they were inconsistent. And then I've seen other players that, on the other hand, were pretty solid as far as their setup goes, but their swing was maybe a little questionable, but they were tough to beat because the consistency they could produce was really good, okay? So we got a club that's shorter and a club that's longer that affects our setup. That's going to affect our swing plane, okay? So obviously, if I'm closer to the golf ball, that's going to make it where I'm going to swing a little bit more upright, a little bit more of a steep plane, if you will, okay? As for the driver, to find that inside-out path, you're going to have to swing a little flatter, okay? So what I like to tell people is picture yourself in a room with low ceilings, and you're going to swing your driver in that same room, which would make you get a little bit more shallow, a little bit flatter, okay? It's not a real good, I think it's kind of a Band-Aid for people who try to find the inside-out path by swinging up and then dropping the club and trying to go back underneath. We certainly have seen some success with that on tour and players like Jim Furyk, but those players are kind of far and few between. Your basic idea for swinging on plane and swinging from in to out would be a flatter plane as the ball is farther away from you anyway. So you're going to swing more here. And now if you swing in sequence, which we know the sequence is kinematic sequence, hips, torso, arms, club. When you swing that way, when the hips start first, the club tends to shallow along with your weight shift, I should add. So we're going to be in sequence. We've got a weight shift here. The club will shallow, and you're able to find more of that inside-out plane based on a couple of things. Number one, a correct setup with the ball in the proper position. Number two, a little bit more shallow takeaway, a little bit flatter, if you will. And number three, a proper sequenced weight shift, which would be right before you get to the top, a little pressure on the left foot, starting to move towards the target. Then it would be hips, torso, arms, club. That will help you to find that inside-out path that you're looking for. If you're looking to draw the ball or hit the ball a little straighter off the tee with your driver, this is going to help you do exactly that. Work with this. It takes time. You're going to want to get in front of a mirror, get in front of a video camera. If by chance you can get on a launch monitor like TrackMan or something like that, you want to see a club path that is slightly to the right, which would be a positive number. And you're going to want to see a club face, which is slightly to the left of that. So let's say, for instance, easy math, if you were swinging from in to out at 4 degrees, if you were swinging to the right as a right-handed player, that would be in to out at 4 degrees. And if you had a club face at -2, which would be 2 degrees left of that path, not left of the target, left of that path, then you would have an in to out path with a ball that would give you a slight draw back to center. Okay? Work with this a little bit, see where it takes you. But if you can get a little flatter plane with your driver, you'll be able to match that nice inside out path you have with your iron.